Pacers! Woo! 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 Shock the world, baby. Shock the freaking world. My Pacers, man. I grew up in Indianapolis. Just moved out of Indy. Lived there for 29 years straight. Been a Pacer fan my entire life. Hated the Knicks forever. Grew up watching that Reggie Miller documentary. Reggie Miller's my favorite Pacer of all time. I freaking love beating the Knicks. I mean, beating the Knicks is the greatest thing ever. I mean, I honestly, I don't even like. I love beating the Knicks so much. Like it's beating them means more than me than like beating even the next round. Like beating them last year meant more than me. Like even if they would have beat Boston, like it's just losing to the Knicks is just the worst thing. You just cannot lose to the Knicks, and luckily the Pacers have beat the Knicks. I think 4 in a row, if not 5 in a row series. Knicks haven't beat us in a playoff series in the 2000s. We beat them last year. Reggie beat them in 2000, and I'm pretty sure Paul George and the crew beat them in 2014, maybe 2013, 2014. What a series, man. What a game. I mean, the reason why I love beating the Knicks so much is because they're New York and we're Indiana, and they think they're like hot shit. But also I like beating them, in all honesty, because they're so just damn tough. They're such a tough team. And, I mean, there's a lot of their players I like. You know, I thought Bridges, I thought he completely let his team down this series. I thought for giving up that many picks that they did, I thought he was honestly a no factor. But then again, I think Jalen Brunson is a superstar, tough as nails, really like his game. And, of course, I thought Cat, though I think he's been soft his entire career, showed some real heart. So they're just a tough-ass team. Tibbs, obviously, coaches them tough, but Pacers, man. Oh, man. I mean, just even go back to game one. I got this magazine I bought, newspaper I bought on eBay, and a guy in New York shipped it to me. Look how awesome it came. It came with this cool case. The Choke 2.0. I'm going to frame this. Look how incredible that is with Reggie Miller on there. One thing before I get into the actual game here, I'm kind of going off just adrenaline and honestly a little bit of exhaustion. When your team wins an intense game, an intense series, it's like almost like you played it, you know. Cubs obviously had a great game today. Beat the Reds. Quick side note, Dansby Swanson, gets to first before De La Cruz throws it to first. Boom, and then we end up winning that game. And PCA looks great, and all this great stuff going on with the Cubs right now. But Pacers are making me emotional. It's just so good for the city of Indiana. Indiana's such a great place. It's such a good state. Like compared to other states, it's doesn't get any praise, but it's a great place to raise a family, especially the northern side of Indy. There's just a lot of really good towns that, win awards. Obviously, it's the greatest airport. Indy 500, I think one of the greatest events. Colts have been great because, Peyton pretty much built the Colts with, Jim Irsay and Edgerrin James and some of those guys, Polian and Dwight Freeney and Saturday. I could go on and on. Mathis. Bob Sanders, remember how tough he was as a Colt? Reggie, Harrison, all those guys. And the Pacers were kind of quiet, and that Paul George team couldn't get over the hump. They just weren't good enough to beat LeBrick James and those sorry-ass crybaby. I never liked that era of NBA basketball. I like this new era of NBA basketball where you feel like the players only have, two good players a team, and it's kind of back to the 80s. Not back to the 80s. It's kind of back to, the 90s. Where you have teams built, and that's what that was so special about this Pacers team is they all stayed together. They signed McConnell, or maybe they extended him a little bit longer. They brought back Obi Toppin, in the same unit that beat the Knicks last year in Game 7 at the Garden. Came back all together and put in the work in the summer. Got way better on defense. I mean, they were pretty pathetic on defense last year, and I didn't think they were tough enough either. The Knicks were just so much tougher than they were. Trains going by. I'm in Chicago, Old Town Chicago. Great place to live. You can probably even see the view if I move. But, yeah, you see Sears Tower and stuff like that. Just weren't tough enough last year, but obviously we really cracked down on defense. And Rick Carlisle, a coach, has showed that Guy's a genius. He's a basketball genius. Obviously, played with Bird. Took the Mavs to a final. I don't even know what year that was. Maybe, was that 2004 maybe? Took the Mavs to the final 2004. Lost that. And then came back with Dirk and the crew and beat, the Heat. Those pathetic losers. With one of the greatest runs of all time. Ricala and Dirk Nowitzki. And for him to bounce back, I thought he was done. And him to bounce back and understand how good Tyrese Halliburton is at moving the ball forward and build a system around Halliburton that is, I think, going to revolutionize the NBA. I think Steph Curry obviously came in and revolutionized the NBA with shooting, and I think Tyrese Halliburton's going to revolutionize the NBA with pace. I think we saw a Knicks team that had full health and great toughness across the board literally lose because they couldn't run. That's a football thing. That's not a basketball thing. Football, speed wins. College football, SEC, right? Ohio State, like Big Ten, Oregon back in the day, right? Those teams always won because of speed. We saw today that the Pacers won because of speed. Whew. Got to give a couple more shout-outs here, guys. This is a big podcast for me. Oh, yeah, Sports World Chicago is my sponsor. It's the store directly across from Wrigley Field. Beers by the Ivy gets you 10% off. Really appreciate them even giving this sponsorship a shot. So if you want any Cubs gear whatsoever, 10% off. Beers by the Ivy. Get some Cubs gear. They got this new cool like Chicago. New unis are sweet. Actually, I got this one from them using my code Beers by the Ivy. So really cool. And then I sell my hats, Beers by the Ivy hats, in my merch store, link below. You can also check out things. I got some cool promos, like I'm trying to get some people to sign up for this promotion. I'm going to pick, once we get to a certain number of people, I'll call it 100, or maybe we can't even do it. Maybe we get to 25. I don't know. But give, free tickets to Wrigley. You got to go with me, which is maybe the one downside, but free tickets nonetheless to Wrigley. Just trying to do cool things like that. Anyways, back to the Pacers. I mean, what do you say? Nembhard. Get the guy an ice bath. Get the guy an ice bath. Nembhard played so damn tough tonight. Nembhard, he didn't take a single playoff. The guy was so tired he couldn't even shoot in the first half. In the second half, he just dug deep and hit a couple shots. Unbelievable effort from Nembhard tonight. Pascal Siakam. That guy's such a basketball player. He does remind me of Jermaine O'Neal, old school Pacer. But he's just better. His ability to just use his body on layups, right hand, left hand, get the and one is unbelievable. Solid defender, can shoot the three ball, understands how to take his opponent on based on his opponent's weakness. If he sees a short guy, he shoots over him. If he sees a big guy, he goes around him. He doesn't do what most guys in the modern NBA do, which is just take, kind of like what they want. It doesn't matter who's in front of them. They're going to do this regardless. Like, that's called stupid thinking basketball. And Pascal Siakam, he studies his defender and he takes his defender's weakness and uses it against him. Whew, I absolutely love that. Tyrese Halliburton. I love him. I love his game. I really do. I love his game. Sometimes I think, hey, you got to do more. You got to do more. And I think that's every big fan. But he scores when it matters. He does what it takes when it matters. He's going to have off nights because he's going to have those. Like Game 5 where he just doesn't even show up. But when the game's on the line, many points in this series, he hit those big buckets. He made those big plays. How many points did the Pacers get from stretch passes? Literally, I've never seen it in basketball where the Knicks score either a layup or a three, Pacers inbound the ball and throw it to the other side of the court, and we get an easy layup or dunk immediately. If you're a Knicks fan, that has to pull the absolute wind out of your sails. And the fact the Pacers did that 3 or 4 times, I think it was 4 times. This game alone was absolutely beautiful. It's just a classic story, When you get punched in the face in life, get up. We always had a rule on my hockey team growing up that was, if you get hit, get up immediately, because you never let the opponent get a celebrate a hit. You get scored on, inbound the ball, move it down the floor, and I absolutely love that from the Pacers. So just shout out Halliburton. I also want to shout out Naismith for solid defense most of the series against Jalen Brunson. Obviously, Naismith, this is going to be the Naismith game where he hit, 6 threes in a row to call the choke 2.0, which was absolutely incredible effort. But obviously, he was banged up, playing tough. Unbelievable. Let's give a shout out to Thomas Bryant. Thomas Bryant was Shaquille O'Neal calls him the others, right? And he came in big and obviously hit 3 big threes, had 2 strong free throws, and played pretty tough D. I mean, he got benched because he didn't play good enough early in the series, and he came back, stayed ready, and just stepped up big for the Pacers, bigger than anyone expected. And I wasn't always a fan of his. I mean, I went to Indiana University, and I never thought he was that good. I thought he was kind of slow, doesn't move well, can't dribble. But nonetheless, I mean, the guy's worked his ass off. He's gotten his shooting down, and he comes big for the Pacers unexpectedly. And I'm glad he got that shout out on the hold on, my TV went away. I'm glad he got the shout out on the whole Ernie Johnson presentation. Really cool. Sorry for cutting out there for 5 seconds of just but what are you gonna do? Let's call it a live podcast. I'm not gonna edit it because that's not what we do at Beers by the Ivy. That's not what we do at Beers by the Ivy. Beers by the Ivy is about having a good time. It's not about getting all serious about editing. It's just about having a good time, keeping things simple, celebrating wins, celebrating sports, enjoying the moments across the world of sports, specifically Wrigley Field, and drinking beer. All right, Reggie Miller, I want to talk about him. I don't even know if I talked about him yet, but the fact that he put his career on the line to be so biased against the Knicks tonight, I loved it. And this maybe, I don't know if he has another contract coming with TNT. TNT's losing basketball, I believe. So if he has another contract coming with the NBA, or he's just you know what, I absolutely hate the Knicks with a passion. I don't care what happens after this. I'm going to just be literally rooting for the Pacers on live television consistently. And I absolutely loved it. And I kept checking in on Knicks Twitter, and they were literally just yelling his name of how much they hate him throughout the game. And I absolutely love that. And I love that he's on the stage with the Pacers, because he was such a solid, great, awesome Pacer. I've actually never met him. I got to meet Peyton Manning a couple times, a couple other Colts, but I never met Reggie Miller. So, but nonetheless, just flat out so awesome. Let me look at the stat line real quick, just so we can kind of recap that. Obviously, I've been going off the brain, going off my emotions, but let's kind of log in and see what's going on. 125, 108. Pacers win. In terms of box score, let's check it out. Bridges, 15. OG, who played very tough, very solid player. Every time he shoots, it feels like it's going in. It's strong, 24 points. Great series from him. Towns, 22. Robinson, 8. Jalen Brunson, only 19 points. He was missing shots from the get-go because Nembhard was so on him. And then Lamney Shamet, number 44, 12 points. I kind of thought they should have used him more. But, I'm not a basketball wizard. Football is where I know my stuff left, right, and sideways. Basketball, I'm more of just a kid who grew up in Indiana. So it's just been in my life for a long time. Pascal Siakam, 31. Naismith, 10. Miles Turner, 11. Nembhard, 14. Tyrese Halliburton, 21. Obi Toppin, strong, 18. Walker, number 5, 2 points. Hopefully he's comes back from, it looks like he twists his ankle or something there. It's pretty bad. Maybe even worse than that. Bryant, 11. Once again, we talked about him. TJ McConnell, number 3. or number 9, 3 points, and Mathurin, 4 points. They didn't really use him much tonight, which is kind of surprising. I want to give a shout out to Miles Turner. Miles Turner's been soft, I think, in his early career at the Pacers, and he just kind of grew up, and he became a voice and, maybe even the leader of this team. Or like maybe the big brother, maybe, the way we can describe it. And it's not easy being 7 foot. I mean, there's just a lot of pressure on 7-footers to perform. I remember we had Roy Hibbert and everyone was freaking out. Like, if he doesn't get 20 points against the Heat, there's no way we're going to win. He's got to play good. He's got to play good. There's just a lot of responsibility when you're the big guy to, protect down low and score when you're close to the rim, because everyone thinks it's so easy to score because you're like 7 foot and you're like the rim's like 4 feet away from you. But he had some big shots tonight, especially got himself going early with that 3-pointer straight down the middle. And then, the big, 3-point play and one. Couple big layups, got a little bit in foul trouble, but nonetheless, big series from Miles Turner. We're definitely going to need him against OKC. Just unbelievable. I mean, that series is whew. Here's the thing, too, guys. Like, I got a bunch of coworkers at my real job, all really solid people, but diehard New York Knicks fans. These are some people I've gone to, I've been in the trenches with, implementing technology projects, long hours, long days, and it's always good to when your team beats your friend's team, and that's what we had tonight. So that's another great thing, because guess what? In a technology company of 400 people that's somewhat based out of New York, there's not a lot of Pacer fans in my company, and I'm definitely known to be like the one of X amount of people from Indiana. We have more than we used to, but, I'm like an OG in the company. So, we have like 2 people that are like been here in my company longer than like 3 years from Indiana. And so, yeah, I definitely would have gotten some messages from them. And, I'll have to figure out, am I going to message them or not? I probably will, but I'm going to just give it a day or two just to check in. Maybe I'll just be like, hey, hope you guys have a good off season. Or I'll just say something, I'll say something very inspirational. Or ask them, hey, do you guys think you're, gonna get, Giannis, or what's the next move for the Knicks after that tough break of a loss, that such a terrible loss you guys just had? I don't know. I'm usually a pretty good smack talker, but, I got to be nice to them a little bit. I can't be too mean. Coworkers. Oh, man. I started drinking kombucha. It's pretty damn good. I think you're only supposed to drink, max 3 a week, but I try to drink 1 or 2 a week, and instead of like really soda or anything. Not that I really drink soda ever, but just mix it up. I really stopped drinking milk, and sometimes I'll have one of these with like dinner from Aldi's. Aldi's is a great spot. I didn't know Aldi's was at all an elite grocery store. I thought it was like some like foreign grocery store, and then I went there back when I was in Indy. I was like, dude, this is like healthy, organic for like a good price. And I love it because you go there and like there's no nonsense. You can just show up, you either bring a bag or you take a box that's there, you fill everything up, you check out, and there's no like, I don't know, there's no like corporational feeling. It kind of feels like you are part of the store, and it's unique. And obviously I like the cheaper prices on groceries. Not to plug Aldi's, but, I was just thinking about that kombucha they have there for $1.99 is pretty solid. Yeah, man, that's really all I got. I mean, I'm emotional. I'm tough on it. I'm taking every single basketball. I mean, that whole series, I was watching on my phone. I was watching, at my place here. I was watching at the Lodge on Division, one of the greatest bars in Chicago. If you ever go to Chicago, go to the Lodge. It's on Division, pretty much in the middle of the main strip of Chicago, between, the river to Old Town, right below Old Town. Well, it's kind of like, actually, I would call it from the river. It's like the beginning of Old Gold Coast, which is like around the lake. So yeah, go to the Lodge. All right, so then here's the thing, and this is gonna sound really stupid, but once again, for me, beating the Knicks is so important. It's Ohio State versus Michigan, and you gotta beat Michigan if you're an Ohio State fan, and you gotta beat Ohio State if you're a Michigan fan. That's how I feel for the Pacers versus Knicks. And I would know because I'm an Ohio State fan, guys. I grew up. I'm a diehard Ohio State fan. So, family's from Ohio. You guys know this if you follow my college football. So, this is the exact feeling I have. So, now we're on a now we're not expected to win against OKC. They're expected to win. We just beat their biggest rival. And so now we have, we're just playing with house money right now. We got to go out there and compete. We'll see game one. Game one's going to be important for the Pacers because that's the first time they see our speed. So usually we can steal game one. I assume they are the top seed, so they're going to have home court advantage. But I like our compete level, and I like our chances. I'm going to go get some merch. Give me some freaking Pacers final series merch. I'm excited. I am freaking excited. All right, I've been rambling. Appreciate you guys still being here. If you're still here, if you quit, I understand. But all right. Whew. Go Pacers. Boom, baby. Shout out the team. Shout out my guy Reggie Miller. Go Pacers. Go Indy, too. Go Indiana. See you later. Peace.